Hey chat, welcome back once more to ETF2L Season 50 and the coverage we're doing on Essentials. It is back to a Week 4 match. We're traveling back and forth a little bit because teams have decided that the entire timeline of the season doesn't matter and they'll just play whenever they feel like it. So it's going to be Aragosta with their final match of the season up against my project. And I think Ben already ran the numbers, so I can spoil it this much. Aragosta can't make playoffs, so they're just here to screw over my project as best as they can. But before we get ahead of ourselves, obviously, hi, I'm Cerny, joined by Ben on the production and Juan on the mic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Yesterday was horrible because we decided for some reason that in Scandinavia it's supposed to be 34 degrees yesterday,
that was
which
fun.
the country's
Fun
not
week so
built
far.
for.
Fun
so
week so
then-
far. It was like 40 here one of the
Yep.
days.
Nope. I had to open my window like when the night came to cool down my room, but that means that you have a zoo in your room when you're done. So I've been killing bugs all morning, which has been, or let's say, humanely letting bugs out of my window again. Let's say that instead. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of mentioned this already. This is a game with big playoff implications, and it's really funny because the only thing that is certain about the playoffs is that Aragosta cannot be in it.
Yep.
Ben, who is now, I believe this is his first time producing. That might not be true.
Not quite. No, he did a match on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, okay. So Ben is stepping in producer, but what he's also done is he's made a nice little spreadsheet that can calculate all of the scenarios that come into playoffs, and basically anything that you guys could dream of, bar Aragosta not making it, or bar Aragosta making it, can happen. Which means that if somehow my project lose 6 points, they can still not make playoffs here. Like,
That would
as
be
much as
so
Aragosta
funny.
are out, they can be the funniest spoilers of all time tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're also playing with their A team again, right? Last time they had Triple standing in for Juxta, who, to be fair, he performed well for the most part, right? At least stats-wise, he was doing completely fine against the Demo Knight team, but they still lost, probably due to the lack of main calls of Juxta not being there and whatnot. But, like they have their full team fielding, plus Nikki Merck as well, in standing in for Rodisher, so they've actually stepped up their team just in terms of players, I'd say, right? The skill level straight away against a probably more formidable team than they went up against 2 days ago. So they might actually have a chance to hang here a little bit. But my project also have their brain back. To say it like that, because Doey's now unbanned, right? So
That's true. Doey made an unfortunate decision to say some no-no words in week 1, so he's been sitting on the bench for most of this season. But he is now back and ready to lead Geordie to victory, which I'm very interested about this my project team, because you look at it like at the start of the season and you would expect these guys to be clearly the best second or the second best team in the season. But like I have no idea what to say about this team anymore, right? Like they played really well, they've also played really badly. And I don't understand. I don't know, like this team, like you just look at the names on the screen, right? They should just be rolling these guys on Aragosta, to be completely honest. But they also have, and then they also haven't. And I don't know anymore. It doesn't make sense.
They played closely against Nandam, managed to take a map off of them, but then they also played closely against the Czechs and lost the map to them. So from what I've seen in the matches as well that they played, they tend to take quite a while to get going. Again, maybe those matches were both without Doey on the team, so I don't know how that's going to impact it, right? But they took a while to get some momentum on the road. They usually perform pretty poorly in the first map, and then they finally get going in the second one or something like that. They don't have a lot of steam in them, They don't have a lot of stam. They kind of just have to pick their moment and then win a map somehow, just closely, barely. And, well, if there's going to be a team to go up against to not do that against for once, it would be the team that is currently literally the worst in Prem by just sheer numbers, which is sad to say because, they've been doing okay.
Yeah, like honestly, like as far as a worst team in Prem goes, usually you have like most of the time you have a Prem season with 8 teams in it, and there's the 8th seed, which is usually just clearly the worst team. Where I feel like honestly, like you look at the matches that Aragosta have played this season. Granted, I don't think their main pocket of Rochester has played a single official this week or like at all this season. I'm pretty sure they have a Merc pocket the entire time.
The last one. He did play on Tuesday.
But then they didn't have Juxta. So it's confusing anyway, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Of just like, but they also like, I feel like in all of the games that we watched them play, they've shown signs of life in basically all of them. They have a couple of like really impressive players. I think Davy's been having a few fantastic games this season. Mackie overall has been super impressive for me as well. Raven, is American, so we don't know who they are. But, obviously over in RGL, they've been performing at an invite level for a little bit, and I think they've been showing it here as well. Juxta has been doing some very good calling, and I think we saw that against Nunya. Like, the Aragosta-Nunya game, Aragosta were amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, if they come in and they play like that, like, honestly, like, I wouldn't be that surprised if my project somehow end up dropping some points here tonight.
Yeah,
But
and it would
Sonny,
bite them. It would bite them. They did.
Sonny, who's gonna take points tonight? I need a full point
Yeah.
prediction spread from you.
So map 1 is processed. We're going into Metalworks after. Let's go with the prediction for one map only, and then I'll think about it, think it over by the time we get to map 2. If Aragosta are actually feeling like playing, if they're feeling like we're gonna turn up, we've got a good team that we're fielding. Like our main caller is here. We've got a great soldier standing in for Rodisher. They have a good chance of actually doing something, putting a dent into my project. If they show up, this could actually be a pretty close map, I think. We're probably going to see a lot of rounds. I can see this being like a 3-4 or something like that, but it should still be close, I think. I think there's a good chance. If they don't show up, then yeah, my project probably steamrolls them. But if they're warmed up, if they're locked in, there's a good chance this can be close.
Yep. I think, your very concrete caster analysis, very deep analysis is saying that this will either be a roll or it will be close.
Yep.
But
only a one-way roll. It doesn't go the other way, It's all dependent on whether the one team that is
3 outcomes.
Worse on paper at least does well. Anyway, look, map's starting, it's processed. Map 1 of Aragosta versus my project. It's all to play for my project, because they can still make playoffs and they can get some good seeding going, but Aragosta can just upset them, and we'll see whether they accomplish anything like that as the first mid fight will unfold before our very eyes.
On to mid, it's Davey taking a lot of really early spam. Again, playing super aggressively, but now it's Jordy bombing forward to... This is all of Aragosta stuffed into a corner. They're losing members already. Mackie, Raven both falling as Doey is just hard chilling on the pack. And Yuval, unfortunately, gets caught out on the pack there on their side, trying to retreat out of IT. This is a very bad position for Aragosta, who are down a medic, and Davey's stuck sticking a corner. Gets immediately blown off. Doey, massive advantage now.
Yeah, this should be a free round already, right? They're in a prime position to convert this round as quickly as you can. Full Uber directly into last. Juxta just now building up the sentry. It might at least slow him down a very slight bit, but they're not going to wait very long on my project. They're going to get this going as quickly as they can, get everybody buffed up, going through that lobby. Classic process last approaches as you see them, and we'll see how well they take it. I mean, that sentry's no problem at all. Immediately taken care of. Now it's on how Aragosta can kite it. How can they get this aggression out of the way? How can they duel this Uber? They haven't really lost anybody. They actually killed too much rather on the side of my project. Make that 3 of Kayn going down as well. ALX very low means that he's gonna get cleaned up, and it's a good hold. It's a great hold.
Yeah, Davey finds 2 there, kills on Devanu and onto AF, and that means that the aggression for the side of my project just cannot get in at all. You don't have any point cappers at all anymore. Just from the stickies out of Davey, and now Ubers have seesawed a little bit. It is, however, you love to see it, right? That is a Vanu on the Classic.
Only got the body shot though. Nicky will pay with his life anyway for that little sack play, but that is it. Varn's still chilling in the forward spawn as well, not leaving just yet. Once Nicky was enough, okay, gonna back spawn eventually as Jordy cleans up Mackie. So 2 soldiers down means the door's wide open here for my project to try something themselves. They have to worry about some sticks. They obviously have to worry about the anti-air. Jordy was poising himself there as Kayn slips in. Gets in behind. That's a little jump there maybe onto the demo there. Nah, just gets picked out of the sky, and unfortunately Jordy can't follow up either. That's both of those soldiers taken care of. ALX trying to overextend himself with his team. They actually get through quite well. They clean up Juxta and Nicky. They might have some grounds here to grab.
Yeah, they're positioning really well off of the spam coming across. It's 2 frags now onto Juxta and Yeehor. So you can see how aggressive the My Project are playing this. It's just AF going in straight for the solo, which comes across, and AF disconnected now. Doey tried to run back and saving his other scout, but unfortunately that means Banu now falls. AF in behind does nothing at all, and that now... Yes, Davey falls at the end of that, but this is a very, very successful Uber here for Aragosta, managing to get the trade across. With 2 scouts down, it's Yeehor bombing straight in onto Jordy. A lot of damage dealt already. This is opening the door up onto the middle.
They're getting so much ground with it. They're pressuring them back so much as well. My project have to respect this. They're still lacking their scouts. They're just now arriving to enter this fight somehow, and they're getting mulched in mid in the meantime. Sure, Nicky's eating a lot of damage as well, but just now they have some chances to re-aggress here, get something going, as Jux is already running into the enemy combo. Raven also dangerous below means they have to back off, and the tables have turned off the back of the respawners coming in for my project. Aragosta not really committing to positioning too much, and immediately poising themselves here to actually just hold second instead, as my project are very far forward, very aggressive again. Both soldiers bombing in, Mackie gets cleaned up. A little bit of pirouette there as Jordy is cleaned up eventually on the other side, and Varnu is just in deep as well, directly under the combo. Not quite committing to it yet, but it's going to be a force out of Yuval anyway.
Yeah, and it's KN in behind, follows up on that Vanu flank, who is still behind. That means it's Davey dead when this counter Uber falls. As Vanu forced now on a 3v1 as he gets just Doey to get out, who now has a full Uber advantage. So that looks really cool and really interesting because there's a flank going on between Vanu and KN. Then they managed to get the demo pick, but unfortunately the sort of fight ensues means that they sacrifice everyone. Now it's Doey. Full Uber advantage, but look at Mackie in position, coming right in through sewer. Gets immediately denied though by AF.
Not gonna happen that time around, buddy. They really want this force somehow out of Doey, and it's just not gonna happen. Davey extending himself too much as well, getting picked off. Nikki dying as well. They're sending everything they can at this medic, and I mean, they've bought themselves a lot of time, right? That Uber's almost equalized again. Yuval's up to 80%, so if they get this Uber quickly enough, there's a good chance they can actually fight this on second, but obviously don't have the players to do it very well. Jordy's already pressuring as well. They just kind of have to hold last on this one. There's not much you can do with Aragosta at this point. They've bought themselves just enough time to set up some defenses, but they really have to make this hold stick. They did it well last time without an Uber. Let's see how well it goes with an Uber.
Yeah, now it's even Ubers, so we'll have to see if they can sort of make anything happen here. It's ALX really pressuring this in as they get the gun down already, but trading to Vanu KN falling just for Yeehor. But look at the positioning that they've gained, just onto the point. So many blue members falling as Jewel has to pop this Uber, which does absolutely nothing. And the cap time for AF is so dangerous here if you are Aragosta, because there's red players surrounding you every single angle, and the Uber can come across, but the cap time is so close. But AF just needs to stand on it, doesn't get flashed. There we go. Really nice even Uber trade there from my project.
It was an even Uber trade, and the best part about my project was they didn't even have to use for the longest time. They just pressured in so much, got so much cap time, basically forced the Uber out of Aragosta off the back of that alone, and then they can just come in with the cleanup afterwards. As soon as that Uber fades, they come in with their own. AF just steps on the point, doesn't even have to be Ubered. There's the one sticky in the way, and there you go. They grab the first round. We're into our next mid-fight. It's only been about 6 minutes, so a quick one to start up the match. Not too much of a stalemate, not too much going on just yet, as the next mid-fight may spell a different story if Aragosta can find their way back into this. That being said, they're not doing so hard. Yuval's already pretty low, and there's only more aggression coming onto the combo. There you go. KN cleans up that kill. Mackie going down as well. Doey feeling some pressure now as well, but he's protected. He's got a scout backing him up. AF is doing a good job keeping his mid alive, and it's a 1 mid for my project for sure. And Juxta just gets the craziest 4K now. Gets ALX at least. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, it's a really nice play from my project there. Just off of the early spam onto Yuval, drop down to half HP. The bomb in from KN does so much work. Immediately finds that medic frac, but then he bombs in behind as well, just forces the rest of Aragosta to sit so far back, and it puts them in such a much more of a difficult position, right? To try and get in and find that sort of consolation kill onto Doey, who can just sit back, let ALX hit some pipes, let the scout AF clean up for him as well. And this is now, it was a really big advantage, but Yuval actually spawned quite early. Look at this build-up coming through. He's already 85% here. And he's on a crit.
It is a crit, but they're not going to be able to use it if everybody on the enemy team is just invulnerable, so they gotta wait for this Uber to fade first. As it comes in, they get the sentry immediately. Gotta deal with everybody around on the point as well, though. They, again, not really find many frags. As the Uber's faded, the crits come out, the laser beams are in play. They've not found much with this heavy just yet, and he actually gets picked off as well. Eventually, the spam gets to him, and now with a bit of cap time as well, the players in the favor of my project. Surely, this is another round waiting to be converted. Nice little shot there, perhaps, by Nikki, but it's not enough to clean up anything. It's another round for my project.
Yeah, unfortunately, the heavy comes out, the laser beams just don't do enough damage. Fortunately, not connecting enough, and that is just an uninterrupted KN sitting on top the whole time. And he just sit and wait out that crit from the heavy, it gets picked off, and he just has a free drop down onto the enemy combo, can't do anything, clean up the medic, clean up the demo, and that's just a round on the board. For my project now, up 2-0, and we're saying this is either going to be close or it's going to be a roll, and I think so far this is very much looking like a roll here.
They're starting to run away with a little bit of momentum building for my project. Aragosta gotta stabilize. They're stumbling and they have to find their footing back in this as the next mid Well, it's going underway. It's a little bit slow. Just teams, looking where they can take some ground. So far, so good. Lots of damage there onto AF. Lots of damage to the soldiers for Aragosta as well, though. Nobody fallen just yet either side. Jordy, finally the first one to be cleaned up, but the positioning is so much better for my project. They're all cooped up for Aragosta, and here goes Davey, taken care of. Now the damage lacking for Aragosta means that they're gonna have even worse chances of breaking out of that hold, and they're just slowly trying to back out, maybe get themselves some secure positioning. At this rate, both medics living this long means the Ubers might just come into play for this mid-fight, as Aragosta is actually pushing forward quite a lot, and you know what? They somehow turn their positioning around and somehow win.
It's just Juxta sitting on top there, just completely uncontested. Unfortunately, ALX not able to get any damage down on that scout, and that means you just have 2 scouts on high ground. Your opposing soldiers can't bomb in, because you know what happens to soldiers in modern-day TF2 with scouts in the air. You can see AF demonstrating very kindly in front of us what happens to bombing E-Hall. It gets absolutely shut down as you try to send in that sack. Now even Ubers. You see Vano up on the spy, at least for now. Just double checking.
Yep.
No, never mind. He gets the stab. Oh.
Just that easy. Just that easy. Beautifully done. Slip right in there. For a while I was doubting the validity of the Inviswatch plays, because everybody was always just running the Cloak and Dagger, but it turns out getting in that much quicker really does matter quite a lot. You just get into position so much easier. Dowie eating a bit of damage there, but will live. It's only Mackie and Juxta back alive early, and well, Mackie's in behind. He can maybe be a little bit of a thorn here, but the only person he's gonna meet at, if anyone, is KN once he spawns, and probably got somebody chasing for him as well already, as the rest of the team is just moving on, chucking on forward, and they still got that big Uber out to work with as well, so yeah.
This is a really scary positioning for Mackie, right? They know exactly where he is, and that means that they're just working with a big advantage at 100%. Mackie really, really wants to use the fact that he's in behind to sort of stall and delay for time, get some kind of aggression in, play onto the enemy team so they don't just Uber in right onto his team's face, as Uber just comes in finding everything for Raven, his entire life's work falling before his very eyes. As now Vanu and Jordy actually both taken down there by the heavy, comes out instead, gets a bit of revenge. Whole combo. Oh, the side of my project is falling, and now they're running out of IT, and everything's okay.
Yeah, turns out the entire Sentry nest was basically just a distraction, and then you come out as heavy, and it all goes just fine. Aragosta maybe find themselves with a chance here to actually keep this rolling forward a little bit as well. They still got a full bit to work with. As I say that, cursed immediately, Yuval gets a massive bomb by Jordy straight in his face, so that's not going to happen. But hey, they still get mid off the back of it, and if they're feeling themselves, they maybe pressure at least second a little bit. They're still down a pick, right? Jordy's still dead. They might be able to send somebody in, maybe get some damage onto Dowie, a force, a drop, Lord knows what, just a nice frag going. If they so desire, as a bit of ground being taken there by Nikki. Mackie's already taken care of though, and I think this is just going to be aggression coming out of my project now with that Uber in tow. They're immediately sending it through choke, and Aragosta way out of harm's way as well. Yuval eats a little bit of damage, but he's going to get out as well, and they're not chasing anything here. Juxta's the only one left behind.
It's actually not the end of the world for Aragosta here. They get the Uber force out of the enemy team, and they don't have to pop anything themselves. They couldn't either way, right? Because Yuval's only 70%. But still, like, look at the soldier bomb coming in there, targeted onto ALX, just plays it quite passively. And now, because his Uber's not up there, it means that KN can bomb in and get so much space. But unfortunately, a team not there means that now Aragosta, they've successfully stalled out an Uber charge of their own. 50% advantage here. They can use this to push onto middle, but they have to get something with this.
Has to accomplish something, but they're not even using, they're just trying to claim ground off of it instead. I mean, at this point that's probably better with how close Dowie is getting to his Uber anyway, and they're down a pick. It works out just as well. You're gonna go equal Ubers instead, but you get the midpoint for free. Can't really complain about that. I think they're gonna be happy either way. It's a decent outcome. Now they gotta get into second though on the equal situation, and those things are gonna get a little bit more challenging. There's a lot of damage onto ALX, but it's gonna live for now. He's not gonna get picked off any which way, and not gonna get cleaned up just yet. But Aragosta are feeling very aggressive here on the sewer side. They're going quite far with the grounds they're trying to take here, as Nikki tries to send him in through choke as well, gets in deep behind immediately as Jordy gets picked off on the flank as well. Trading out for Davey, and there's the Uber exchange. And I guess Davey got dropped in the midst of it. It's gonna be on this post-Uber positioning, which is a lot better again, at least as the Uber fades for Yuval, but Mackie gets taken care of. But there's no heals, and now it's just a pure DM fest. Can Juxta keep his medic alive against 3 players? I guess we'll see.
He's trying to. He's doing decent damage to After, at least for now, right? That's such a weird fight in sewer, but look at KN now. With the high ground in behind means that suddenly this gets so difficult for Yuval, who unfortunately just has to jump into every single soldier in the universe. And yeah, dude, what a weird fight. I think my project just see like an empty Davy and just managed to catch him out. Yuba comes out just a bit too late, doesn't save the demo man, and now we're just stuck in this chaos of my project thinking they have an advantage. But okay, there's a lot of blue players on mid. You can't really fight that despite Yuba not being up. Doey, because he's busy healing up for this fight, right? Like, it's not that big of an ad even ultimately at the end of the day, right? It's only like 20%. This is completely fine for Aragosta somehow, some way.
They are keeping themselves in this, and they're still down 2 rounds, mind you. 60 minutes on the clock is plenty of time to work with if you're trying to get 2, maybe even 3 on the board eventually, but they have to make a move. They're in the driver's seat. The ball's in their court. They have to make something happen if they actually want to keep themselves in this and snatch some points away from my project, because that's all they're fighting for, right? It's not like they can make playoffs or anything. They're just doing this to keep themselves the pleasure of maybe foiling my project's plans a little bit. As the Uber is up for their side, Doey has his, Yuval close, but not quite there just yet, and Nikki just narrowly living himself. It's enough to pressure them out of mid for the time being, but now Ubers are equal, the tables are turned, and that's a deep bomb in once more. Doesn't quite get what he wants though with Jordy.
So close though there onto Yuval, really low, down to 15, but just barely manages to surf it. Jordy not quite finding those rockets, but it was really close. It was a very nice attempt by him, but now it's even Ubers. Just process second, Sunny. And I don't see any funny off classes either. We're just kind of sit.
Not yet, anyway.
But again, like this now, we are European, so that means we have to start thinking about the 7 factor of this. Half of the map timer is gone at this point, and my project are up 2 rounds, and we've gone from this is a roll territory to this is a close one, in the sense that neither team's really managing to find a big comfortable advantage to actually push with, right? So it looks like now it's all on my project rather to sort of bust this and try to find an advantage, squeeze water from Stone a little bit, but so far for now you can see them sort of positioning rather towards Seward. ALX getting a bit aggressive as well, but look at where Aragosta is sitting already. It's Mackie here on the flank. Actually does end up trading there for KN, but that allows Vanu to get in. And this is where my project are going to start playing this a bit aggressively here. As actually, nope, never mind. Vanu just gets an IT, and he's chilling.
It just gets out again. Took the high road, manages to just sneak on out, and now he's just being a bit of a nuisance with the pistol. Nikki trying to bomb the combo, just gets shut down immediately. Dave eating a lot of damage as well. They finally find Varnu on that flank, but now they got to deal with the rest of the team being in their faces as well, and it's just slowly winning fight for my project here. Maybe even going for the exchange at some point here. They're certainly poised. Af kind of wants to take it, but I think he's getting rung in back by Joey, and he's just gonna go for that Raven frag instead, as it looks like the exchange is anybody's game now. They know they want to do it. Doey goes very low before finally using himself, so it's gonna be the exchange. But if you can get this medic cut off, if you can somehow get a bit of chip damage onto Doey, that would be something for the post-Uber fight. As Yuval is instead the one to fall, they find Druxta and Tavy as well, and Doey has positioned himself nicely to not be in harm's way whatsoever. Nobody can get close to this medic anymore. It's only Mackie left alive, and well, he's in upper lobby, but that's probably all he's going to do. He's just going to have to back out. Raven trying to build something on last here as well with the sentry, but it's not going to happen. It's just going to be another 1 round for my project. There's no way to beat it at this point, and there you go. 3-0.
The kill feed there says that the credit should go to Jordy with the kill onto Yuval there that sort of breaks open that post-super fight. But really what it actually is KN finding a beautiful bomb in through choke, just forcing everyone to look at him and really catching the enemy combo off guard. The rest of my project is right there, ready to take advantage of the terrible positioning there on that low ground on second. And that's just Aragosta caught with their pants down. Now 3-0. With 13 minutes left, and this is when you're going to have to start hitting the go button. It starts on these middle. So they've been playing these quite slow, but look at where Davey is now already. Different mode engaged.
So aggressive on this far right side here. I mean, it's certainly a switch up for Aragosta. Is it going to work well for them? Then that's a different question entirely. Nobody's saying just Yuval eating a lot of damage to Jordy. Beautiful pump there onto the medic. Picks him right out of the combo, clinically removed like a spleen. And that's gonna just make things so much harder for Aragosta here. They got no heals to work with now. Everybody on the enemy team still alive and healthy and positioned beautifully as well to just cut them off. And mind you, they've traded sides here, so there's no way Aragosta can even back out if they want to. They have to fight, and they're just dropping like flies.
Oh, nice little shot there onto Yeho by KN in the end as well, but you can see exactly what you're saying, right? They know they have the heal advantage. That means the enemy team have to come to them. And unfortunately, Aragosta, the only way that you can really save it there is going for sort of a sync. Everyone goes in at one kind of sack play and just Hail Mary it in onto Doey. But that fight took forever as well. So Dowie now 100% has his entire team with him. They even find a frag super late onto Juxta. They're pushing this 5v6 full Uberrad. Gun is only level 1 from Raven as well.
It's gonna be a dicey one. Aragosta has managed to do it before, but they have to hold this beautifully again, as my project not really putting on much point pressure just yet. Okay, they're getting it finally as the stickies are cleared. That's a lot of cap time, matter of fact. There's the medic cutoff as well. Yuval out of the equation means that even if they beef this push, at the very least they're returning to even grounds, and it looks like that's what it's going to be, as KN still caught in behind, eventually gets cleaned up. But that Yuval frag keeps them in this. Even if that push didn't go their way from my project, they can just try again in about a minute.
It's now all on Aragosta to make sure that this Uber is not used into the air last. Instead, you want to get this out as early as possible, or preferably, to be honest. If there's somehow, some way, just like go on a console and type like kill Dowie or something, so he drops like right now, that's even better, right? Because you see them already on my project playing this super aggressively, right? Trying to just take the space on the second, because you know exactly what they're looking to do with this Uber. But this time around, no gun up, but they also don't have a pick to work with.
It's looking a bit dire. Oh, KN dying might actually slow them down a little bit. They're still going to use the Uber anyway, but the post fight isn't going to get any easier off the back of this. ALX trying to shut them out of spawn. A little bit of captain being put down as well. They're actually just all walking out this left spawn door into ALX. They're feeding him so much damage, but he still does get cleaned up eventually. It's Varnu and Dowie left alive, and Dowie, for that matter, is completely disconnected from his scouts. So a couple of rockets by Maggie cleans up the ladder. And there goes Juxta cleaning up Dowie as well. This is Aragosta's time to shine. They just have to worry. This KN might just send in a crazy bomb, and Yuval has to keep his eyes peeled. Also, a bunch of forward spawns, so mid isn't going to be as free as it could be.
It's, yeah, I mean, my project play that so aggressively towards the point. They send so many members just trying to get that cap time. Aragosta just barely managed to hold on. It's a really nice final rocket there from Mackie in on to Vanu as well, but that's a follow-up bomb from KN. These soldier bombs from KN and Jordy have just been making absolute miracles happen for the side of my project. They seem to find Yuval every single time.
That time is just a force, but that's still going to get them such a great position now. The Ubers are basically equalized off the back of that, and now the Aragosta has slowed down. They have to slow down. They can't just keep moving forward, but unfortunately for them, they also still have to find at least 3 rounds in a little over 9 minutes. That's starting to get into extremely fast round territory where you just have to hit the go button no matter what. Jordy going down to Davey might make things a little bit easier for them. So trying to get a couple players in through the flank as well. Perhaps bust this open the old-fashioned way. Maybe not even wait for the Ubers. I mean, it's only about a 15% difference here. So at the end of the day, okay, 25%. I can't count clearly, but like it doesn't matter, right? It's shaving a few seconds off the clock at best. And Aragosta, no, they just have to go. They have to give themselves the best possible opportunity to get the second eventually.
Yeah, they don't have that much time to work with, right? 8 minutes 45, down 3 rounds, and this isn't even Uber. You're going to have to do something that, you know, my project managed successfully to do to them last round, which is, in this even Uber situation, find an advantage you can use to roll in. But look at how well KN just holds that IT area. Raven and Mackie dropping so low, and that means they can't support the team on this fight. When you're trying to do this play of trying to somehow get in onto the enemy medic, you're really banking on having that pressure from multiple angles, but KN just finds beautiful rockets there onto Mackie, onto Raven, and that means the pressure disappears. Now Davy's super low, forced to retreat back onto middle, and the pressure now reversed. It's my project just managing to get it onto middle here.
Now, they're poised to really make some damage happen here. That being said, nobody dying just yet. They're actually losing Varnu on their side first. Raven traded out on the other side, and Yuval might start keeping a little bit of damage here as well. Not quite evading it for a while. Eventually does get forced, and if Dowie can hang on to his, can't quite. Chase is too deep by Davey. He's gonna get that Uber out of the equation as well. Keeping his team in this probably, but the players are still better for the side of my project and in this post-Uber fight, unless you get some crazy frags coming out of the way of Aragosta. They're just gonna have to concede this one, I think. There goes Nicky traded out for KN at the end of the day. Juxta maybe trying to pull some of his weight here, but can't only do so much as a soul scout. We gotta back out, and this is just bad for Aragosta, man.
Like, trying to fight this anyway, though. This is a bit confusing.
Have to.
It's Raven going in, falling immediately. I guess they're just realizing you have to hit the go button. But Jordy and KN are doing just so much damage to them. I feel like, okay, Sonny, it is so rare you watch a process game where it actually feels like the reason why one team is winning is because one team's soldier pairs are just completely differing the others. But this game, KN and Jordy are just doing numbers on the Aragosta squad.
they're getting away with so much. Juxta's trying his absolute damnedest. Raven, I mean, the ping this ad eventually gets to you, I suppose, right? Once you're up against some of the hardest hitting soldiers, and it's they're just not able to lock down all this aggression Jordan can throw out all the time, and even Davey can only get the occasional frag with a cheeky sticky trap, right? There is an Uber exchange now through IT. As Aragosta tries to maybe get something to happen, everybody's flashed, everybody's shiny, it's gonna be the post-Uber, and they're already pressured out of position as AFS gets sent to the skybox. He goes to space for a second. Alright, he's good.
No, he wants to go to the Starling. He's checking it out. As does actually manage to find a kill there onto Juxta as well. This is going to open the door here for my project as he just goes forward once again, fancying himself with a little bit of yeehaw. Actually does get that kill onto Nikki, and now Raven eating another rocket from KN. This is really low health bars. There's only 3 up, and yes, Doey's a bit low. He has to play a bit careful around choke, but that's Raven finding one more. But the pipes from Bun and ALX come in. It's a complete crunch on the second, and that's a wipe now. Terrifying prospects here for Aragosta.
This might just be the 4-0 in the making, as Ken is already on that point as well. Can't quite get the midi, unfortunately. Nicky's going to have him diffed on that one, but he can't hold off Barnu as well, and yep, that's the 4-0. Couldn't even get to the point in time. That's very unfortunate for Raven. There you go, 4-0. I think that puts the final nail in the coffin. If there was a chance for Aragosta to come back and get this to at least like a golden cap, that has now disappeared. That has faded.
No clip.
They need a no clip, and they need like an insane morale boost. They need to like just take a smoke break. They got like a French player on their team. They need to take a smoke break.
Would you, okay, be honest, would being gifted no clip by the other team to try and win with no clip, would that give you a morale boost, or would it do the opposite?
I feel like it would make you feel like you're like a Make-A-Wish kid or something, right?
Like if I'm losing 4-0 with 4 minutes left, and they're like, you know what, you can have no clip. Like, that would make me feel horrible. If they get wiped on middle as well.
It doesn't even matter, huh? Because like the thing is, with no clip, you can still get outplayed anyway. Like all you gotta do is just put down stickies, and then it's hard to see them. It's hard to see all of them all the time, and I guess they're just gonna close this one out in regulation time. They're not even gonna make us wait the last 4 minutes. At least my project are already on last without second even being capped off yet. They're spawn camping Aragosta, who are desperately just trying to get some grounds on their own last. But the Uber is now ready for Doey as well, and I mean, it's just over, right? There's no way to get out of spawn with this. They're just playing with their food at this point. They're just toying with them.
Yep, that is a complete 5-0 roll, so at least they don't make us sit there and cost 5 minutes of dead time. I think maybe my least favorite thing to do in casting is the dead time study. It's all very fun.
You gotta
but we don't have to deal with it. It's actually fine. It's just a 5-0 roll. And I'm gonna go back to it. I've said it a few times already, but Nikki and Jordy this game were so good. And that makes me curious. I don't know how fast we can really put our new producer on his paces here. Start talking about a log before he's ever seen it. And
myself. There you go.
Let me tell you, when is the last time you saw 320 DPM from a soldier on process?
Yeah, that's quite something. I mean, he's only 11 DPM shy of his demo as well. Like that's kind of wild. It's quite a lot. I mean, part of it is obviously like, yeah, Jordy KN got away with a lot, did a lot of work there. Nikki and Mackie, when they made stuff work, they made it happen occasionally, right? They got some glimpses and some opportunities in there, but they were just completely shut down. They got those absolutely horrid logs you just want to forget about on a soldier. It just didn't. They didn't get to do anything. They didn't get to have any fun. They didn't get to play whatsoever, and yeah, it shows. It shows a bit.
I think another thing I want to point out is Yuval also did not have the best game. I feel like this kind of comes across, I think for a lot of sort of, if you look at Aragosta, some of the main weaknesses is that most of the time it's either Davey or Yuval both sort of have this seeming like ability to always get caught out in like post-super fights or pre-fights. There's a lot of fights that happened that game where you can see the idea for Aragosta, right? They're about to take this fight with a combo, but then Davey always manages to die. Or like right in the post-Uber, like as soon as the Uber fades, Yuval's in a bad position and he's immediately caught out. And it just makes the fight so much harder for Aragosta to play if losing either of these key players, right? And when sort of both of these have these tendencies as well, it feels like their combo is just a little bit disjointed. You compare that to my project where Doey was so safe for basically the whole game, right? And it made such a difference. Much as you want to sit there and talk about, like, as much as I want to sit there and be a soldier main and be like, wow, look at the soldiers, Jordy KN, really good job. It is also a little bit, I think, it is also just the rest of the combo, Davey and Yuval finding weird positions. I think this game, more than anything, is probably a bit more, you put that into Yuval, and then you go, okay, whose fault is it actually? Is it actually Yuval? Or is it, like, his combo as a whole that are fighting with that? And that's a discussion we can't have. All we can say is Yuval, bad positioning sometimes, and my project were there and ready to take advantage of it.
Consistently finding him whenever they need to. Now, after that 5-0, they're going to find themselves an opportunity to make it some 6 points that they really need tonight with Metalworks as our next map on the clock here. And, well, after that performance, I think any sort of rooting for the underdog is starting to become a little less likely, something that you can easily do, right? Unless, for some reason, my project sucks horridly on Metalworks, and they just can't get anything down, which I highly doubt, especially after how well their soldiers did, and this being a map that, soldiers do a little bit better on usually. Yeah, this is it might be quicker. It might be over sooner than we might want it to be. Who knows?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Metalworks is, like, given what we saw in the last map, Metalworks is a map more so than Process. Jesus Christ, they're different maps. Where you can really see the influence of having super successful, like, coordinated soldier bombs, especially on these middles. It is so crucial, and I think if you're having the game that Jordan can just have, Metalworks is a better soldier map than Process, and I think it might. I think I agree with you. I think it will probably amplify the flaws of Aragosta and also amplify the strengths of my project as well, and that makes this this upcoming game a bit scary here for Aragosta.
Okay, but imagine you're in the Twitch chat right now and you've bet on Aragosta. What are the odds looking like, man? Can you imagine?
No, you tell me. I'm not allowed to bet chat points, and
True.
Betting is banned in my country. Gambling is not okay.
Let me see. The odds of my project winning are 1 to 1.07.
Wow.
And it's 1 to 16.24.
That's crazy.
People have lost all faith.
You guys are frauds.
They lost all faith,
does this mean that the casters are smart and chatters are dumb? I think that's what that means, Sonny.
Perhaps they lent a bit too much credibility to me being like, there's a chance it could be close if they turn up.
I think maybe there's this guy in chat, he's called, like, Mac. Maybe he's stupid. He's like one prem or something? Okay, don't care.
Div 1 more than his one prem.
Right.
One Div 1 more often. He's a Div 1 merchant, really, if anything. Anyway.
Yeah, now continue, bro. I'm good.
This is good enough. Look, this is gonna be interesting to see, right? Because if Aragosta actually turn up to this, I'll eat my words. It would be crazy. I feel like they got literally everything working against them, right? Nobody believes in them anymore. The world has turned against them in every which way, and now is the time. Imagine they just steal some points away from my project. Imagine those points end up mattering, and my project can't make playoffs because of it. Ooh, how juicy that would be after all that.
There's so much, like, playoffs is we got a big, long, giant nerd essay from Ben discussing sort of how playoffs works, and my analysis was, I'll figure it out when it happens type of thing. So all you guys need to know about playoffs this season is it is really complicated. But I also think, and this might be fake information, but I assume I'll be corrected if it is fake information, is that it's only a 3-team playoffs.
Yes, it is only 3 teams.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's half the league, I guess. They kept it consistent in that way, right? Instead of making it 4 teams. I mean, fair enough, I suppose. That adds a little bit more of a pressure, I suppose, as well, right? If you have less opportunities, even if there's less teams, keeps it kind of even. Now you're at the point where, well, there's going to be 2 teams fighting each other, and then whoever wins that goes up against the top seed, which at this point is looking like it's going to be probably, let's be honest, probably Nandom, but it's always a chance of an upset, right?
Surely.
So, okay, here's like the prediction.
Yeah?
Do you think Doey is gonna say something in chat again that's gonna get him in trouble?
No. What I think will happen and I'll tell you this season has been really funny, weird for the whole time, and has never been more like weirdly unpredictable. So I'm not gonna lie, like I made fun of you guys for betting even against Aragosta, but I'm about to make fun of you guys again for not believing and just giving up. Your recency bias from chat is too strong. Everyone who sucks at gambling stops gambling right before they win, and you guys need to accept that Aragosta are going to. I don't know how this is going to happen. Miracles can happen, and things can change, and that means that Aragosta, they're going to take this map victory here on Metalworks after getting absolutely demolished on map number 1 of Process, where they really just did not have an answer for Jordy and Kay, and we're here on map number 2. This is still ETF2L Season 50. Aragosta trying to play spoilers here for my project's playoff dreams.
We'll see if they can accomplish that. Any point they steal from them is going to make it harder for my project to get in those top 3 slots as the mid goes underway. Raven the first to fall. Jordy, who have deep bomb in as well. So much Infinite already. Craters off the back of a rocket. It's only Juxta and Davey left, and I think any copium supply has immediately been as exhausted just after the first 20 seconds of the round. Because here we are, my project winning the mid, and Juxta the only one alive running away.
I've never, like, one of the amazing things you get about casting TF2 for this long is that caster curse becomes so strong. Like, just the untold potential and power that I have now. This is a giant advantage here for my project. Don't go to second and look at what KN is doing right now. We're playing a serious game.
Yeah, they're serious. No, they're having fun and being serious. At the end of the day, they know they got this one in the bag, right? Surely they're not going to beef this last pick with a full add onto Metalworks here. Early pop as well to make sure the stickies don't get them. Sentry's only level 2, immediately taken care of as well. They found Davey as well. Af just ran right into his face, so that's going to make it even harder for this point to be defended whatsoever. Yeah, so much cap time already. Barter's just standing on it the whole time, and there you go. That's the first round. Going away on my project. They're making this look very easy.
That is lightning fast there for my project. So quick. I think it's probably about as fast as you could realistically go on a map like Metalworks. While it is sort of tight, close corridors, there are a lot of corridors. As there's a decent distance you have to run between these points, but somehow, some way, in a minute and a half, minute 20, I think, actually managed to take round number 1 there. It starts with a really nice, clean, easy mid-fight victory, and that's Aragosta. No answers at all, and I think maybe has me a bit worried. The mental might be a bit in the bin now.
They might be thrown in the towel already, but all it takes is one good mid-fight, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna put you right back up there. There you go. AF and Alex both taken care of immediately. Gyro's doughy as well. Raven just gets in deep. Unfortunately, Jordy's right back there with a nice little bomb onto Yuval. He picks himself a little bit of a consolation prize for this mid-fight. It definitely hasn't gone the way of my project. They did end up wiping. They find Davey, they find Yuval. It's gonna keep them in this, keep it going a little bit, but...
Look at Nikki.
Very far forward, huh?
Very far forward there in enemy lobby. I think maybe looking for a bit of an off angle. Nope, never mind. Actually, just wants cap points. There we go. Dude, the caster curse continues strong, but that's such a nice late play there from Jordy as well, right? Getting in and finding a sort of round savior from him. Getting in onto Yuval now means that Yuval wants to do one better. He just gets in onto Doe straight away. Yuval lives in house, and now, suddenly, my project, you have to start being a bit scared here.
Aragosta, once they get a bit of wind in their sails, look like a completely transformed team. Look at that. As soon as they aren't stumbling and they go forward a little bit, they are taking the initiative. They're doing something here. They're having something happen. Through alleyway now, seeing if they can just finally close up this cap on the point, making sure they're not missing anything. Stickies, they've spotted them. They've dealt with them. They've scattered them much rather. They're going to get this second capped off, and with that big fat ad in their pocket as well, this is a last push waiting to happen. Sentry not quite built up just yet either. It's in a bit of an annoying spot, but it is only level 1. They're going to get in this. I'm even going to use a bit later as well than the opponents did last time around. Now it's going to be on whether they can actually get any picks off this Uber, and Kayan already picking up Mackie. There goes Raven as well. Nikki going down. It is all crumbling. The house of cards is falling. It's only a pick onto Jordy on the other side. Juxta still in behind as well, just gets gunned down by AF, and yeah, that didn't quite go as planned, did it?
And it's such a late death from Yuval as well. Dude, Aragosta send in with a decent start to the Uber. They just send in, and then my project stall and find all the players not flashed by the Uber. That means they kill every single one. They get the latest kill imaginable onto Yuval as well, and that means that now Doe ginormous advantage here. Players spawn quite late. They're not in position on mid. There's stickies all around house, but as Raven early frag there onto AF, is that really going to slow them down? You see Mackie and Yeehor playing closer, looking to get some kind of force maybe coming through, but my project see it, respect it, shoot them back, and they still have ginormous advantage to work with here.
Yeah, they can probably roll this all the way to last if they can just keep the pressure up on second. AF missing does slow them down a little bit for that one, but they're probably still going to just bully their way in here anyway. Never mind, they're just going to use it, seeing if they can get anything done with it. At the end of the day, they're still getting the second off the back of it regardless. You don't really have to worry about it too much unless Aragosta are feeling really keen trying to refight this out into lobbies. Again, hasn't been capped. It might be a chance. They find Jordy. It's a nice little early pick there. Lots of cap time onto that point by the scout, but ultimately still pushed off regardless. And Davey just really wants to get out here. They trade out KN for Raven. At the end of the day, it is a held second point. Scouting behind isn't going to be doing much either. They at least spotted him, and Vanu might escape, but you know, no, they dealt with him. Okay, all right, look at that. They're actually holding on to that one.
This is 50 ad hit for Yuval as well. Now you really have to keep your medic alive. As you can see, my project doing the exact same thing. Juxta spots up the stickies as well, making sure that the medic doesn't fall to that, but it actually just stalled just a little bit enough. You can see Dowie now 94% is gonna be fine for this Uber to come out onto Davey, but Dowie has a counter Uber of his own, and now Yuval not able to flash Davey in, means the Demo Man falling can just allow KN to get in onto house for free. A lot of damage dealt. Demo pick to work with. This means that they can now push this quite aggressively, and look at Vanu. This is a trap with many layers here.
Oh, it doesn't quite get the stab though. Has to settle for the gun instead. It does actually do enough to just get the chip damage to finally get that medic frag anyway. It doesn't even matter that Dowie's completely left alone back. He's not got any pressure on him. He's just baiting damage at this point, just feeding Juxta a little bit of chip damage, and yeah, it's just keeping up again. That entire Uber exchange just going awry because Davey's just caught outside of it. Just gets juggled away from his combo again, out of position. Not necessarily exclusively to his own doing, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes, and that's going to put my project in a nice position here to take themselves this midpoint now. Big Uber ad to work with as well, and well, they found Juxta early already, trade out for KN, but it's probably not enough to slow them down all that much.
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird fight here for Aragosta, just trying to get in, find something. Mackie unfortunately just traded down, and that means that now you sent in your one sack, right? And Yeehor, a bit of spam from Ali, but this is Dowie, big advantage, 80% on the side of Yuval. Not the end of the world, but Dowie actually does pop, despite Yeehor falling anyway. This is now for Aragosta. They can't really fight second, but they have themselves a huge advantage to work with, and look at what my project are choosing to do. Just send it forwards. Try to get this force out. Make them use on last. Don't allow them to take any space with this at all.
Unfortunately, they couldn't quite find the way in, though. Aragosta were being too defensive, not giving them any quarter, and now they have a nice opportunity to get out here. KN picking up the knife this time around. He's on the Cloak and Dagger. He's going for the slower, more methodical play instead, and it's going to make things a little tougher for them, perhaps, here. It does eventually get spotted out, trying to decloak, and I think that spy play isn't quite going to go the way they want it to. They still know he's around, but he has escaped, evaded it for now. He's
oh my god.
In the mist. He's right in there, bro. All it takes is a bit of distraction. You can get directly onto Yuval. That Uber will be out of the equation, and it'll be a fat ad again to work with for Dowie. They need to make it work. They need the distraction. They need the coordination here for this to work out.
It's a bit of a weird positioning though, right? You can kind of see he's sort of making his way up the staircase, but every single time someone just almost bumps him. You can see now finally going for it. Gets him behind, but he misses the stab. The pistol's out. But there's too many blue members, but it opens a door for a lot of aggression for the rest of my project here. And it's just a drop pipe from ALX across the alleyway. It means that this pop from Dowie doesn't matter at all. Raven gonna be one of the last ones standing in onto second. It's only Davion last, and that pipe from ALX just finding its mark at the very end. The pressure from my project is too much for Aragosta to handle. Just Mackie left alive, cannot hold on by himself, and that's ALX the final frag there. Beautiful pipe route from him.
That brings it right around. Yuval, perhaps a bit too confident. Should have just right-clicked, right? When you're trying to cross a dangerous sideline like that. And unfortunately, ALX finds exactly what he needs to. Turns out 100 damage in a burst can be quite a lot when it's consistent, and you can just hit it straight away. So, 2 rounds up now for the side of my project. They're not running away with as much as they did last time around, but they were slow to start with on process as well. First couple of rounds didn't come that quickly. They only really started speeding up towards the end. Now with another mid fight underway, who knows if they're going to continue that momentum or if Aragosta are going to find himself a nice mid again, as Jordy's in deep once more onto the medic. Huge damage immediately onto Yuval. He's not going to be in any position to really defend himself here. Yep, there you go. He gets taken care of by a roller. You find Jordy and Alex on the other side at the very least, but it's already a mid that they're working from behind on again.
This is Mackie trying to hold it down in enemy house, forcing some kind of pressure here onto my project, meaning that they can't push forward, but he's just doesn't have the health anymore to do this, and that means that Vanu finally does manage to find that cleanup kill, and as soon as Mackie falls, there's just no positioning on mid anymore. They don't have the pressure, and that means that now Davey a little bit far forwards. You have to watch out from this KN aggression. He's already set up an alley here, and this is a huge advantage for Doey once again.
It's just something that can keep rolling into last. That being said, Aragosta, they're not giving this one up for free. They took very long to lose that mid-fight. Oh, nice little rocket there by KN to just deny Nicky. Send him a bit higher, but at the end of the day, it's not enough for him to get that frag onto Doey that he so desired. Doey, you know, having some confidence in his team as well, keeping his Uber alive there. No pop and no sir. And Aragosta gonna be feeling a bit mad about that one. Didn't quite go the way they wanted to. At least they bought themselves a bit of time. Ball's about 20% off his Uber now, so good chance they'll get it by the time my project actually push in with theirs. They pop very early trying to get around the corner, essentially taken care of immediately. They've got some people trapped in spawn as well. Lots of cap time being put down. The sticky's getting cleared off. Davey left in no man's land again, and now with just all that cap time coming through, it doesn't matter if you get the Uber in time. You didn't use it, so it's over.
Yeah, just another really nice round there from the side of my project coming in. Big advantage, they play off it, find all their frags. Fortunately, that just spells the end of it for Aragosta now. They have not been in this game at all. We're only 12 minutes into this, 11 and a half actually. And they're down 3 rounds. No momentum at all. And these mid-fights just have not been successful any single way. They really need to find a way to switch this up here.
Even when they win the mids, right, they still lose Yuval, they still lose so much momentum off the back of it, so they really have to find something that sticks here. Nicky just kissing a soldier in midair. They're gonna just find each other, and it turns out that the winner of that fight is definitely going to be, once more, the Aragostan side. Sorry, my project side. Aragostan side losing Val as well means no heals now. Juxta trying to just run down the combo, gets the kill onto ALX at the very least, as Davies trying to back him up as well, but now he's 1v3 here, one of them being the healer. Does at least div AF, but it's not enough to keep them in this, and it's just going to be another bad ad for Doey.
This is now really, really scary for my project. Once again, Doey, huge advantage. And my project is just outplaying Aragosta so hard on these mid-fights. And it like, let's be honest as well, this is a night to forget for you. We're not having a good game, getting caught out positioning wise so many times. It's so difficult for him to play about it as well, right? Because you can tell my project smell blood in the water. They're just keeping on sending it forwards onto this medic. Now aggression once again in through alley. Done a decent job actually building up this Uber a little bit now. 84%, I think it's my strong crits. It's not, it's a medigun, but they're building it quite well. It's 100% for both sides, so not the end of the world. We stalled for a bit of time here for Aragosta, but what can you do now? You have an Uber, which means you're not going to lose now.
Unless they just stay in spawn again, where they can't really block the point from like they did last time around. Now they're being more aggressive trying to hold this. Doey actually eating a lot of damage, gets forced off by Mackie with a little bit of a flank there into lobby. It's enough to get that force out of the side of my project, and it's gonna force him to get in deep here. Not much pressure coming onto the side of Yuval instead, so he's not gonna have to use it all. They even lose AF for their troubles. Even if a lot of damage being put down, they can't quite clean up the frags that they would have wanted to. So, Aragosta, nice chance now maybe to get themselves out into second. Just make sure they don't get back cap. Check every single corner for every single person that could be hiding, and you see 5 before you, you're gonna use that Uber trying to get into them. ALX, the one-man army trying to hold off a whole team, and you know what? If that's all you're trading a demo for an Uber, I think that's probably still pretty decent.
Yeah, you're pushing out through that lobby area, but it's just you will force to flash like 4 players, which the Uber doesn't last very long. They can't send any sort of meaningful solo in onto the enemy team because the Uber's like 30% by the time you get through the shutter door. And that means that now you're trying to pressure in onto Dowie 100% himself, and you're really playing with fire here if you're Aragosta. The bomb's already coming in for Jordy, and 2 players cleaned up. Yuval just has to watch as the rest of his team falls around him. Raven and Mackie sacrifices themselves, but not much gain at all. Davey pressured into Lobby, down to 12, but he just barely survived. We have to send Juxta in for this, and look at the flank from Jordy as well. KN coming through. That is so much damage dealt. Aragosta stuck in on last. Rockets keep on coming. KN and Jordy just not stopping. No one is safe. And this is a counter over coming out from Yuval here. They managed to hold on. Doesn't do anything. They're not finding any frags with this.
ALX, who was basically just caught anyway, would have died regardless, right? So, yeah, all they're getting is that demo out of the equation. Might give them an opportunity to get through a door here on the second for free if they wanted to, but obviously, why would you push out with an Uber Disset at that point, right? They're not chasing anybody. They just have to hold this last somehow. 15 minutes left on the clock. It's certainly feasible for Aragosta to come back into this, but having to start with a coast-to-coast from your own last, or losing a round and then making it 4 in 15 minutes is not making it any easier for them. They're gonna really have to make this hold work, and then some.
It's so hard for them, right? They're sort of building this up, but okay, you build up this advantage. We're just down so many rounds as well. Now the Uber comes in through for the red team as they get the early kill onto the sentry gun. There's Raven taken down already. A little bit of point pressure comes up. They were so happy to play so much point pressure here for the side of my project last time around on Process. Just sacked 2 for Jordy. Got to sit on the point for a really long time, about half capped. They're not in position to play this at all. Dowie, quite low as well. So they're backed off onto second. Holding off for now, but this is even Ubers. And Vanu now is going to go for a bit of a spy play here.
Very, very curious. We see those all the time. Loves going for those, so it's going to be interesting if this one actually works, because the spy play into last on Metalworks it's not the easiest thing to pull off, especially when you got the Invis watch as well. Like, yeah, you get in quickly, but now you have to be in a great position to decloak. Nobody has to hear you. You have to be playing this one perfectly. All it takes is somebody looking down there, and you're gonna not be looking all that healthy anymore. That being said, absolutely nobody even thinks that there could be a spy in play. They're not really looking at this My Project team being very passive and going, oh, well, that's a bit suspicious. Why aren't they, like, spamming anything? Why are they just waiting? Well, it's going to be good enough for one to get on the bridge. That's the stab onto the heavy. Another little, at least a butter knife onto the demo, but that's about it. That's all she wrote. Still, the heavy out of the equation means there's some grounds to be taken here. Can indeed. Ooh, Yuval surfs it the right way that time around. Doesn't quite have to worry about it. Jordy is being caught as well. Can't get any ground. Might live, mind you. Nope. Okay, he will die. But that's dicey. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah, now we're sucking in 3, which means that Aragosta are pushing in onto second here. But look at Dowie. They're trying to just pincer this in with a solo in onto App. There's a lot of damage dealt though, and that's Vanu flashed as well, and it is complete destruction here for the blue side. They're not in position at all. They're just not on their last call with their pants down, trying to trade second for their own last. But the Uber does come out onto Yuval, but My Project cleaning up everybody else. It's just one scout on the point. He gets shut down as well, and just striking the force of a hammer coming through, and that might just be, dude, this feels like the most curtains.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes sense.
It's feasible. It is literally still possible that Aragosta somehow grab 4 rounds in 12 minutes, but they need to play out of their minds to a level of, like, witness, basically, if they want to have any chance of making it that quickly. And all My Project has to do, even if they start losing like 2 or 3 rounds, is just park the bus, slow down, and then it's over, right? So we may very well be into it that time already. It's just a matter of how quickly do Aragosta want it to end, right? Do they want to still get some practice in, or are they going to concede, throw in the towel for real, and realize that, well, there's no real winning this, so let's just make a splash pad your logs, get some more clips for the frag movie that you can send to Peter at the end of the season. I don't know, right?
I mean, they managed for the first time to get a successful mid-fight going. So just get those early kills down, early frag onto Jordy, early frag onto ALX as well. I need to say that again real quick so we can get the combo going. But we're pushing in now early onto AF. It's an early frag onto him. Wow.
Getting that second wind, huh? They're actually finding a lot of stuff going here. KN is in behind, being a bit of a nuisance. The Uber exchange meanwhile underway on second. Raven caught outside of it, as is Jordy on the other side, so still anybody's game. Dowie now disconnected from his scout for some reason. I don't know why he tried to do that, but it's good enough for him to just run into a Davy who was absolutely unaware of a medic being right behind him and gets that kill cleaned up regardless, as looks like it's still going to be better position for my project at the end of this. Though he finally gets cleaned up eventually, but surely Jux is going to pay with his life. Will not escape that one for free, and now Yuval is going to be feeling a lot of pressure as well. They smell it. They know they got to get out of there.
Trying to escape at least for now, right? But they're sort of sitting around the house building this Uber. They don't have that much time to build this up. You kind of have to keep on going here, and you can see Af already back with Dowie on last, building it up, and Vanu. What's this? What is this mischief?
It's NG on second, huh? I mean,
this gun
might as well try. Nope,
the gun never does anything. But like, I like the.
You gotta get it to level 3. You gotta get it to level 3 and then move it forward.
About sending
also,
a message, Sonny. The message is straight on people. Who actually manages to dodge that rocket a bit nicely there from KN. Does go in, doesn't get the force onto the enemy medic, but they've stalled for time with that gun as well. Another one shut down. Dowie now 85%, and Aragosta, after strike so fast, Uber comes in, but it's Davy shut away by the sticky as well, means the counter Uber can just come forward. Juxta forced to be flashed and just go in onto Vanu instead. Just managed to get the trade kill onto the heavy, but there is no other blue players in onto this last at all. You need the bomb in from Mackie to do more work than it does, as Yeehaw destroyed in the air, as KN finds a beautiful double air shot. There's another one onto Davy as well, and the All-Star show coming in. Oh my god.
It's just yeah, an instant shot by Nikki. That's an unfortunate one, getting shut down like that. But it happens, and here we are. Nice little hold by my project. Find themselves on the front foot now. Step up once more. Ubers are still equal though. At the end of the day, there isn't much of a difference between these two medics and their Uber charges. So my project, even if they want to get this final round on the board and they have 9 minutes to work with to get this closed out before the timer runs out, they're gonna at least have to work a little bit for it. Mackie going down opens things up a little bit for them if they have this opportunity here into mid. Davy trying his absolute damage to just lay on the damage, as well as the Ubers are ready on both sides. Well, imminently at least. Davy though overextended too much, gonna pay with his life, and now Aragosta are gonna have to run. And this exchange that may very well come their way is not gonna favor them all that much when there's only 2 scouts versus an entire team.
They do have forward spawners here though, which makes this fight very, very weird. Like, these two players are going to come up, but because they don't have middle cap on the side of my project, means that these players are just going to be right in the fight. That's Yeehaw fighting another kill into KN, and now you have 2 frags. No soldiers up for the side of my project means that they're super just stuck on middle right, onto the high ground, and the bomb is going to come forwards here, but this is Af surging forward with counter Uber of his own, really looking to get onto Uber, who's juking it for so long, taking an age to pop it, but it is ALX actually traded off in the backline. This is super weird counter Uber. Af though is just looking to run this all by himself. Mackie traded off in the backlines as well. Dowie low in house. Af only finding 1, but that's KN coming in. There's a lot of damage dealt now in onto this house area. We are cleaning up. Somehow, some way, Juval only half HP, and he has to run back. Because Vanu, the rest of my project, they are there, in onto second, taking control. There's Dowie dead. This is another advantage, and Raven might be fancying himself a bit of a fight here, but KN could die as well. No?
That's dangerous. The entire fight went the way it did because Af probably missed a couple too many shots as well in just the chaos and being surrounded by 4 players on all sides, eventually letting the medic escape. The crit's coming out for Dowie now. Certainly an idea, knowing they're this at anyway, trying to get into this last. It's certainly a nice try to get something going here. All it takes is going to be 1 well-aimed sticky, finding its target, and immediately this is busted right open, right? Jordy, unfortunately, going down is going to make this any easier for them, as it's just going to open things up for Aragosta to get their pressure in, and if they want to push out with this Uber, even better. They know they must have an ad here. They're not aware of the crits just yet, but all it takes, man, is that 1 ALX sticky is going to find its target. It finds the demo. At least Nicky gets taken care of as well. That's 2 frags. Unfortunately, the Uber does not come out in time to save either of them, and it's a wasted Uber for nothing to accomplish except lose 2 of your players. As KN gets cleaned up eventually, they find ALX as well, but Mackie's traded out for it, and it's just keeps going back and forth.
Af is trying to ego a little bit on to Juxta. Vanu now joining up as well. This is a Scout Medic 3v3 here in onto second, but there is just reinforcements coming in from Raven, doing so much work, bossing on Af. And unfortunately, the 100 ping is not enough for Af to win that one. come back off the middle here. So much damage dealt. This is Doey in a weird position, but Banu just sends it onto Yuval. That's Yuval falling, and now this is a really hard fight for Aragosta. They have to make this work right now. They're finding picks, but onto people that aren't Doey, who's running back with a massive, full 100% advantage here.
It is only crits though. You gotta keep that in mind. It's enough to do something with, but you can't necessarily just push off it. They're just gonna crits in through Valley here. AF really just I guess they just want to get it out of the way, right? See if they can maybe find a medigun or something. They just get one kill onto Maki with it, and then with the follow-up getting just cleaned up as well. Raven Nicky not finding anything. Doey's still eating a lot of damage though. Not in a good position. We'll have to escape eventually, but it could have gone a lot better, could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, this is 3 down still for the side of Aragosta, right? Which means there's no contesting second at all. And you're going to be looking at, because these spawners are a bit late, but they are forwards once again. It's a slow cap here for my project, which means it's actually all 6 on second. But Jordy not quite finding the air shot onto Yuval, who managed to survive. Serves it up into the air, around, to be honest, the rocket. Like, there's a little spin around the rocket in the air, but he manages to live. That means that now Yuval's gonna get Uber. It's gonna be fine. Because look at my project. They're not pushing at all. They're just chilling. It's 4.5 minutes. Round resets by the time the map ends. So it's fine.
No pressure, no pressure. They got nothing to do. It's just gonna be on Aragosta. Maybe they want themselves a little consolation round as they try to get anything done onto the medic here. Davey not quite hitting the damage he needs to. The crits eventually come out as the Uber is faded. There goes the cleanup. But they are finding some frags on the other side. I mean, Alex, Alpha both dead. Doey's very low. Finally cleaned up as well. There's no heals or anything left really. It's just a couple of soldiers who are, well, not really looking all that healthy either. They're scrapping for what they can here. As Jordy and Kea not trying to escape. Jordy actually very far forward still. Will probably get caught here in this fight as well. Eventually gets cleaned up, and an opportunity for Aragosta to get themselves that consolation round on the ward. Doey's probably happened to be off the crits as well at this point. He was on caught on that for so long.
He's just like waiting to die, right? So he can come up on a different weapon. Because like, oh my god. Once that crits, I feel like the crits is barely effective anyway, and then when it's like your third one.
Yeah,
you're like,
really loses its luster after a while. You get kind of tired of it. Oh, you showed this one last week already. Jeez, bring us something new.
Massive advantage push in here onto last for the side of Aragosta. Looking to reply with some kind of round, but they are not fighting this Gondavani, who sits behind this box and eats all of the enemy demo stickies. As KN bombing in as well, just trading onto Yeehor, but that's enough. No positioning at all has been gained because this is a Brass Beast heavy with infinite HP, and they spent so long taking down this raid boss. Now it's 2 scouts sitting on the point, but the counter Uber comes out of Doey. They managed to just delay for long enough. They get this counter Uber up and ready, and it's fine. Davey cannot get in. Successfully staved off the push for now, but it is still 50 advantage here for Yuval, and he can go in once again very soon.
It's another opportunity. Again, they're not winning the match or the game with it, but at least they can get themselves around on the board, say they did something, right? Show us that it is possible, and if this was a 4-map series, maybe we would have something to cheer for. There may be some sort of a momentum or comeback building at this point, and Aragosta gotta show what it's done, how it's done, see if they can actually accomplish last push once more as they go in. Lots of cap time already put down as well. Jordy with the parachute, just soaring above, but he can't get to the point in time. Scout just walks onto it, and there you go. A round on the board for Aragosta. It took everything they could possibly muster, but at least they're not going home completely empty-handed.
This time around, Zvanu is still up on the Brass Beast heavy, but this time, he's not in a position where he can actually shoot the point, and that means that yes, the Brass Beast makes you a little bit more tanky, makes you do more damage, but you're also stuck in place. He cannot physically get to the point in time where the enemy scouts were standing, and he just couldn't shoot them. And that means that unfortunately for Vanu that they are not able to get in position in time. Cannot block the point. That means a round on the board for Aragosta. Now 4 minutes to play the last game of their season, I guess?
Yeah. Probably. I mean, what else what are you going to do? You're going to keep scrimming them? I don't know. It's a mid-fight that's going kind of well, actually. They find Doey early. Never mind, use the ball anyway. Okay, Alex. Look, you don't got to do that, man. It's kind of like over. Oh, well.
That was like, it was like he had a lock in mode. I was watching Lucas do that to Banny for, you know, a little while. He just does that with a normal Iron Bumpy. Very impressive. Just completely unplayable mid there from Evil, who manages to not even look at the enemy demo man, just eat all of the damage. As Doey died as well. He comes up on a crit streak and he's sitting in spawn We have 1 minute, Sonny, here to get the coolest, fattest, most disgusting crits play you've ever seen.
You know it's gonna go crazy in the frag
I'm
bit.
so excited for the crits 7K to come in.
Crits
It's gonna be
crits
beautiful.
here.
You're gonna
It's
blink.
on both sides.
It's gonna light up. It's gonna be like that movie about the Russian team from ages ago, where it's just a 10-minute compilation of Pledge screaming about crits. The white girl critting onto, I forgot. And it's a shortstop crits coming from Ali. 5-2 already, the ball comes forward. Yeehaw deleted. And this is some tech you've never seen before. We said it was going to be a fat crit, and there you go. This is a weapon you forgot existed. And it just got a 4K. They're getting backcapped.
They are getting, they almost did, matter of fact. It almost worked too, but it didn't quite. The shortstop, huh? That tighter spread, turns out it makes sense when you're going with the crits, huh? That's crazy. I forgot that I deadass did forget that weapon existed, and I'm glad Barnu is always here to remind us of items that we didn't even know existed anymore. Like, I didn't know that shit was unbanned, honestly. I didn't know it was on the whitelist.
Beautiful. And with that, it spells the end of the Aragosta season as we know it. They unfortunately do not manage to play spoilers and absolute chaos makers in the standings. So this is my project coming out on top. However, I'm going to need a bit of confirmation from production once again. But I do believe that even though they get 6 points, there's still a world where they don't make playoffs. I think.
Which would be very funny, actually.
Which is just how the way the world works sometimes. But yeah. I can also say whatever I want, right? Like, no one knows what's going to happen anyway. The point situation right now in Prem is crazy. Dude, I'm not going to lie. This was a game for like 3 minutes, and then it was just over. It felt like it did last for another 30, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was kind of like a foregone conclusion, especially after the first map. I feel like nobody was really expecting it to go much different. And, well, I guess we can look at some numbers.
We can look at numbers. What do you think? Do you think the numbers say anything that like are interesting beyond us saying numbers? Yeah, I can say numbers, but like this is a Metalworks game, guys. Like you see them on the screen. AFS 29 frags. Wow, he played Pocket Scout on Metalworks. Okay.
Revolve died twice as much as Dowie. You know, still not having a good weekend, as you were saying throughout the match as well. It's not looking so hot, unfortunately for him. Maybe actually having a better match this time around though. He wasn't looking all that good on process, but even though he still got caught a bit, he was actually playing more solidly this time around. Gotta give him that.
Yep. Sonny, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna do me a favor, actually.
Sure.
I'm gonna let you give final shoutouts before we just leave.
Very well, very well. That's it for this. Indeed, more matches coming up. I think on Sunday we're gonna have another match coming up for this cast getting covered. I do not quite remember who it is, but it's probably gonna be a good one. With how the season has been going, it might be interesting. I don't know. The playoffs implications are gonna be crazy. The situation is absurd. You can make like your clickbait. The ETF2L playoff situation is crazy. There's your like YouTube clickbait video, right? There you go.
And it's just a picture of Moist Critical.
Like deadpan face.
Do you want to dress up as Moist Critical?
I'd have to like dye my hair black, but I think I could do it.
This is my last cast of the season, Sonny. I'm gonna be away for the rest of it. You guys are free of me.
Damn.
Never have to listen to me again until next time I'm back. But I'm gone, guys. I give up this season. It's over for me.
R.I.P. Wondom.
And with that,
where were you when Wondom was killed?
I have to go to France, dude. It's over. All right, guys, take us off the air. There's no way we shouldn't be allowed to speak anymore. Get us out.